See everything you need at the new True Car. Good to have you in. Colin right, Colin wrong, top of next hour. Wade Phillips, the former Cowboy, Ram, defensive coordinator, NFL Combine start. So I'm really interested to bring Wade Phillips in. He's a fascinating guy. His dad's the legendary Bum Phillips, who I grew up with. The Texan, you wore the hat and remember they used to have that kind of leather jacket on? Very nice. He was a very unique character. Wade's his son, wrote a book a year ago. Fascinating guy, really knows personnel. He'll be joining us on the show today. So, as you know, I love the quarterback position. And what I tried to do before the drafts, and I'll do this 4 or 5 times to give you clarity on where I put guys. I saw, and I've said this about Joe Burow, can we add some context to it? It's not hating when you add truth to people. And finally, the Combine starting today, and there's an article I'm reading, and it has questions about all 5 quarterbacks, and it says about Joe Burow, says an AFC executive. He goes, a year ago, the guy probably goes in the 3rd or 4th round. Now, suddenly, I'm supposed to believe he's Andrew Luck? Thank you. Context. Listen, we don't add context to any of these guys. Let's add this with Joe Burow. In the SEC, Alabama had its worst defense in 8 years, and Tua got hurt in the big game. He came in injured against Burrow. Joe Burow had the best offensive line in the country. It won the award, the 2nd best running back in this draft, and the best wide receiver in college football that's not in this draft. He had a quarterback coach in the NFL come over. He had the perfect alignment. Tua got hurt. Bama's down. Best O-line. 2nd best available running back in this draft. NFL-level wide receivers. And he got the perfect coach. And they played the championship game basically at home in the Superdome. Nobody's saying he's not talented. But Jordan Love at Utah State was great as a sophomore, not as good as a junior, because he had different coaches and different players, and he was playing with no NFL guys. Justin Herbert at Oregon he's a stronger, bigger arm guy than Burrow. He doesn't play with any NFL guys in Oregon's offensive system. I was told this last week by a general manager. He said it's painful to watch Oregon. It was such a boring, simplistic offense with no NFL receivers. That's who Justin Herbert's playing with. Who do you think Jordan Love is playing with? He's playing with guys who aren't even offered by the University of Utah. They don't want Utah State's players. So you've got to add context to all this stuff. I think Jordan Love, I'll just make a prediction here. The only guy in the draft that has the ability to change a franchise that nobody will admit right now is Jordan Love at Utah State. Now, we all think Burrow and Herbert and Tua, and Jordan Love could change a franchise, and I'll make a prediction. He will, because he's going to go later in the draft, and he's going to end up with a good team like Indy. And Burrow's going to go from the best offensive line in college football to arguably the worst O-line in the NFL. He's going to go from LSU had the most talent in the SEC this year. Bama was a little down talent-wise. LSU had the most talent in college football. Cincinnati's easily got the least talent in the AFC North. Hell, forget the league. They have the 4th most talent in a 4-team AFC North. So let's just add some context on this stuff. And I'm always really concerned about, and I like Joe Burow. I do. I like Burrow. But I'm always concerned about college quarterbacks who pop in their final year of college. That's what Jamarcus Russell did. He popped. Why did it take so long? Didn't take Tua long. Didn't take Andrew Luck very long. Didn't take John Elway very long. It didn't take Dan Marino very long. I mean, you look at most guys who are in the NFL, it wasn't like it took Drew Brees forever to be really, really productive in college. So I'm always a little leery of, he popped in his final year. Yeah, best O-line, best running back, best receiver, coach is perfect, your rival's down. Just saying. Just a little tiny context with Joe Burow. And by the way, I really believe this. Tua is the best quarterback talent. Then I think Burrow, Justin Herbert, and Jordan Love are in the next three, and I think Jacob Eason's fifth. He's the Washington kid. I think he's clearly not as good as the other four, but it's two in one class. The next three guys are all super talented. Fit is going to matter a lot, coaching and fit. And then I think Jacob Eason will work at a couple of programs, not most. I don't think he's what the NFL looks like now. Wade Phillips, next hour, excited for that. He's one of the nice guys. Good talker, nice guy. Calling right, calling wrong. Joy and I spent the weekend in Las Vegas. I don't know what you guys did this weekend, but you didn't have as much fun as we did on a Saturday night. It was absolutely spectacular.
It was a great night.
Still taken back by what a friendly, low-maintenance, cool kid Patrick Mahomes is. Mixes right in. Hour 2 next. Here we go. It is a Monday. NFL Combine starting. They need support from their home country, and Tyson Fury had the support of the fan. It felt like a 90-20 Fury crowd.
They also both had really dramatic, fun entrances.
Yeah.
I'd never seen anything like it, either one of them.
Yeah. All right, calling right, calling wrong. Do it every Monday throughout the course of the year. I have big opinions. Sometimes I'm wrong. Need to be accountable. Here we go.
Where Colin was right.
I said they don't make 30 for 30s on the flyweight division. Heavyweight fights feel big, and boxing's only as good as its heavyweight division. And Saturday night, over 1 million buys, and it wasn't cheap. Fury and Wilder put on a show. First round, big swings, knockdowns, controversial ending. It is exactly what elevates boxing. If the middleweight division is your best division, you're never going to be really hitting it out of the park. That's what boxing is as its best. Maybe it's an old George Foreman, a young Mike Tyson, an underappreciated Evander Holyfield. But when the heavyweights are captivating, and these two are, the heavyweight division carries boxing. And I thought it was a spectacular night. It looked like to me Fury hit Wilder on the back of the head early, and Wilder lost his equilibrium. But it felt gigantic. Everybody was there. NFL owners, superstar quarterbacks, stars, stage and screen. It was a massive night in Vegas. Good for boxing.
Where Colin was wrong.
Listen, I got to be honest about the Clippers. They've lost 3 straight. They got dogged at home by Sacramento Saturday. They're not playing well. Some of it's injuries, and some of it looks like it's apathy. You do get to a point sometimes in February with good rosters. You know, you kind of feel like, all right, we got old guys, let's preserve it. The dog days of the NBA. They always say in baseball, like, July's the dog days of summer when you know you're a good team or you know you're not. But right now, they're only 1 game out of the 5th spot. They have not been a very good defensive team. Now, some of that is because Patrick Beverley's been dinged up, and he's a tremendous defensive player. But I worry about the chemistry by adding, Marcus Morris and then adding Reggie Jackson. I do worry about 1 ball, 2 more really good players who need time.
Where Colin was right.
My prediction for Zion Williamson, 24 points rolling out of bed early in his NBA career. He's officially averaging 23 points rolling out of bed and shooting 59%. He also has the leader in the NBA, even over LeBron, in points per touch. Too many people said, well, he can't shoot a jumper. Who gives a rip? Who comes out of college at 19 with a great jump shot? Ray Allen didn't even. That's not his game right now. LeBron James was not a trustable three-point shooter his first 6 years in the NBA. LeBron James' game evolved, but I knew something about LeBron, and I know it about Zion. That is a unique body type. That is not coming off the body factory. They're not, that is Larry Johnson body, but a better touch than Sean Kemp. And he is exactly what we thought. His plus-minus per game is almost +8. That is impact, folks. That is on the floor. My team is significantly better.
Where Colin was wrong.
The impossible has happened, and I got to own up to it. Russell Westbrook has stopped shooting threes. Self-awareness. This is Russell Westbrook at his best. Driving, athletic, igniting the break, finishing at the rim. My knock on Westbrook has always been he lacks the self-awareness to improve. He just won't stop shooting. But they almost forced him to now with a small ball lineup because now there's nobody in the middle. The floor is spaced, and it's Westbrook one-on-one with all sorts of room, and he is not shooting threes. He's averaging under 2 a game. This is Westbrook at his best. I get all the energy without all the 24-footers. And he's just, listen, he's not a good three-point shooter. It's okay. Ben Simmons won't even shoot him. But at least Ben Simmons knows I'm not good at it. Westbrook's always lacked the self-awareness. He deserves credit. This is the best Westbrook. This is the very best Westbrook where one-on-one space stopped me. Good luck with that.
Where Colin was right.
Oh. Fanboys, put down the pom-poms. The GM for the Packers acknowledges, yeah, we drafted a quarterback in the first round. He's talking about Jordan Love at Utah State. Aaron Rodgers is still good. But the Packers drafted Aaron Rodgers when Brett Favre had just won a division. He was still the best quarterback, arguably, in the NFC. The reality with Aaron Rodgers is stop blaming Mike McCarthy. He's declining. He doesn't want to get hit. He throws more balls away. Now, I didn't think the Packers had the best offensive line they've had, but can we all just acknowledge Aaron's not perfect. Aaron's been hurt a few times. He's a little slower, not as healthy, not quite as comfortable taking shots as he was 5 years ago. He's declining. I keep hearing about how Brady's declining and how Breeze is declining. You know who's not declining? Russell Wilson. But all these guys are 35 plus. Aaron, to me, he doesn't quite look as comfortable. And Green Bay acknowledging, we draft the quarterback first round if it's available. And they should if Jordan Love is there. Don't think he will be.
Where Colin was wrong.
I've always defended LeBron James. People want to play with him. I think they did at one point, but Darren Collison chose retirement over him. Reggie Jackson chose the Clippers over him. Kawhi chose the Clippers over him. And essentially, Paul George chose the Clippers over him, and they had to settle for the second-best Morris twin this weekend. You know, I got to be honest about this. I've always been a huge LeBron fan. I would love to play with him. He gets the ball to the shooters, but he does. There is a certain swath that he clears, and he kind of feels like he sort of runs the team, and fair or not, there is a sense in the league that some guys don't want to have the sort of LeBron umbrella hovering over them, the cloud of LeBron. And, you know, between Paul George and Kawhi and the second-best Morris twin and Collison and Reggie Jackson, there's certainly a narrative that's fair to say, given a choice, a lot of guys don't want to play with him.
Where Colin was right.
We predicted Greg Olson's best fit was the Seattle Seahawks, and that's where Greg Olson chose to play. Smart guy, goes to a smart team with a smart quarterback. He's going to give Seattle between 45 and 55 catches, 2 or 3 touchdowns. He'll be very good situationally. What I like about this is Greg Olson. This is why I thought Seattle was the fit. Greg Olson knows the staffs at Washington and knows the staffs at Buffalo, and he doesn't know the staff in Seattle. But here's what I know. Russell Wilson makes everybody work, and Greg Olson's a smart guy that he can have a smart veteran quarterback. He'll be a great situational football player with Seattle. They're not going to ask him to be a volume guy. They don't need him to play all 16 weeks and have 75 catches and 9 touchdowns. 48 catches, 3 touchdowns, good on third down. A little bit of a Jason Witten role. End of his career. Can you trust him on 3rd and 5? Can he find an opening in the zone? We thought he would end up in Seattle. We thought it was the best choice, and that's where he lands.
Where Colin was wrong.
The LA Wildcats, which I called the worst coach team in the XFL, destroyed the best team in the league until Sunday, the DC Defenders. Blew them out 39-9. Cardell Jones had a bunch of interceptions. This team was a mess in the first couple of weeks. I was like, they don't even look like they practice. They were great. And DC looked like the best team in the first 2 weeks, and they got smoked. So I was wrong on that XFL thing. My first big XFL prediction went sideways.
Where Colin was right?
Fox Bet and Vegas casinos are now acknowledging the Detroit Lions are pretty much aligned with the Miami Dolphins as the first team to pick Tua. Well. When I suggested this 2 weeks ago, the city of Detroit sent me the nastiest Twitter responses. This is outrageous. There's no way they'd bail on Stafford. And I said, why do they have to? If you're worried about losing Stafford and the salary cap hit, you still draft the best player available. It works out perfect. You support Stafford, put a little pressure on him, and you get this injured quarterback from Alabama who's transcendent with no pressure to play. But don't deny that Tua's not the most talented college football available at number 3. He is the best player. If not drafted by the 3rd spot, he's the best player available. And I think you'd be crazy not to draft him if you're Detroit. By the way, you're going to draft a corner? Really? Go look at the last 6 top 10 corners picked. 3 are busts. The other 3 have had no impact on winning. Vegas, casinos, Fox Bet now saying Lions at number 3 are going to look at him.
Where Colin was right?
College basketball, as I've been noting, is in trouble. The top players either don't play or if they get hurt, they sit. Right now, 3 of the 4 projected number 1 seeds all lost this weekend. 5 of the top 9 teams all lost. There is no number 1. There's not a great team. I'm not sure there's a very good team. I watch a lot of college basketball. I watched a lot this weekend, actually, flying back from Utah. I sat and watched 3 different games. Here's my problem. Most of your top players don't want to play in the sport. It's the ultimate apartment complex. You're there briefly, get me to a condo or a house. College basketball needs more stars. I don't know if you change legislation, but the NBA puts its nose in the air on it. Young kids, AAU, don't have a great interest in it. And the only team I've seen this year that I thought was really, really good was Baylor, and then they lost this weekend. So I'm wrong about that, too. But we've been right about college basketball. It is a sport that is in real trouble. If you're a sport and the best people don't want to play in your sport, you have got a problem. Colin right, Colin wrong. It's great to have you in. I love having Wade Phillips on. He's been an NFL head coach. He's had his greatest success being a coordinator. The Rams have decided to go elsewhere and move off Wade Phillips, but he is sharp. He knows personnel, and I can't wait to hear his thoughts about the NFL Combine. What should we – it starts today. What do you watch? What do you ignore? What's a little underrated? What's a little overrated? Wade Phillips, always an interesting listen, joins us next. When it comes to hiring, it can be difficult. Our unemployment rate's about 3.5%, meaning a lot of good people right now currently are employed. How do you find people? Well, that's where ZipRecruiter comes in. No matter the industry, healthcare to manufacturing to business services, it just makes hiring faster and easier if you go to ZipRecruiter.com/herd. When you post a job there, it gets sent out to over 100 top job sites. Then ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology hustles for you to find people with the right experience for your job, and it invites them to apply to you. That's different. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So add ZipRecruiter to your roster. Helps you in the hiring game. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/HERD. Herd. It's the smartest way to hire. And again, right now our unemployment rate is low. It is hard to find people because there's so many people hiring, and sometimes the candidates available are not great. That's where ZipRecruiter comes in.